silence in Mudville for a week or even more. There were mutters and first curses. Every fan in town was sore. Just think, said one, how soft it looked with Casey at the bat. And to think he'd spring a bush league trick like that. All his fast fame was now forgotten. And they called him, "Strike out, Casey!" And the bear learned from the very down the line. And when they came to battage day, his bosom heaved a sigh, and a look of hopeless fury gleamed in Casey's eye. Now the lane is long when it's said, and never changes, and face so fickle, gets not a chance to man. And Casey smiled. His rugged face no longer wore a frown. The pitcher who had started all the trouble came to town. Just said one how bad it looked with Casey at the bat, and to think he'd go and spring a bush league trick like that. All his past fame was now forgotten. They hauled him, "Strike out, Casey!" from the mare right down the line. And when he came to battage day, his bosom heaved a sigh, and a look of fury gleamed in Casey's eye. Now the lane is long as someone has said, and never turns again. But fate, though fickle, often gives another chance to man. And Casey smiled. His long face no longer wore a frown, because for all the pitcher who had started all the trouble came to town. All Mudville had assembled. 50,000 hands had come to put the noted pitcher who had put Big Casey on the belt. And when he stepped into his box, the multitude went wild. He doffed his hat in proud disdain, but Casey only smiled. In that throng of thousands, there was not a single fan who thought that Mudville had assembled. And with the setting of the sun, their hopes sank low. The rival team was leading 4-1. And the last half of the ninth came around with no change in the score. But when the first man up hit safe, the crowd began to roar, and the din increased the echo of 50,000 coughs, or 50,000 hands said. Casey gazed his head and vicious pull and pounded on the plate. All Mudville had assembled. 50,000 fans had come to see the noted pitcher who had put Big Casey in the boat. And when he stepped into his box, multitude went wild. He doffed his head proud to stay. But Casey only smiled. In that throng, there was not a single fan who thought that Mudville had a chance. And with the setting of the sun, the rival team was leading 4-1. And the last half of the ninth came around with no change in the score. The first man up hit safe, and the crowd began to roar, and the din increased the echo of 50,000 fans was heard. When the pitcher hit the second and gave 4 balls to the third, more runs to tie at the highest of fame in Mudville Hall of Fame. Here the rally ended, and the gloom was as deep as night when the pitcher hit the second and gave 4 balls to the third. 3 men on base, nobody out, 3 runs to tie the game. A triple meant the highest notch in Mudville Hall of Fame. But here the rally ended, and the gloom was as deep as night. The 4th fouled the catcher, and the 5th flew out to right. No roasting for the umpire, for his was an easy lot. And here the pitcher twirled again. Was that a cannon shot? A whack, a crack. Out through space, the distant sky, a speck against the blue. Above the center field, in rapid whirling flight, the sphere was sailed on, the blot grew dim, and then lost to sight. 50,000 hats were flung in air, and 50,000 threw a fit, but no one ever found that ball that mighty Casey did.